Good morning, everyone. I'm Andrea Mendez-Brutia, the Director of Community Engagement for the Hispanic Collaborative. Thank you for joining us today at our Bank Roadshow meeting. The monthly Bank Roadshow series is here to support Milwaukee's banking, financial, and frontline entrepreneurs support community with in-depth information on the entrepreneurial ecosystem, programs, and services in order to strengthen our community's existing and budding entrepreneurs. Today, Molly Dill is here to tell us about the work that gener8tor does as a startup accelerator. I'll pass it on to Molly, and then we'll open it up to some Q&A. Thanks for being here, Molly.
Thanks, Andrea. I'm Molly Dill, Director of G-Beta Milwaukee, which is a program of gener8tor, which I'm going to tell you a little bit about today. So gener8tor is a platform that has a variety of different programs that we offer. The company is headquartered in Milwaukee, and would love to fill you in on what we've been doing. So our mission is to be the best partner for a community to invest into its best and brightest. So we try to do that through all these different programs that we're offering. Here's a little bit about our platform. It's grown a lot over the last few years. We look at it as sort of an umbrella, an ecosystem, connecting a variety of different stakeholders, including startups, entrepreneurs, artists, investors, universities, and corporations, all kind of focused around innovation and the accelerator model. So we have pre-accelerators, which are for entrepreneurs in very early stages. Accelerators are for entrepreneurs that are a bit farther along, and that's where there's an investment component. We run those as sort of a venture capital fund. Corporate programming for corporate innovation executives. So it's kind of like an industry trade association for corporate innovation. We have a conference series as part of that. We have culture programming. So that's where we look at artists and musicians in the same way as an entrepreneur, and we run accelerator programming in a similar way. And then there's our newest program that we started during COVID, the gener8tor upskilling program. So that's, we had the opportunity to work with a lot of under and unemployed individuals. And along with a partnership from Microsoft and LinkedIn, we created an accelerator program for those individuals who want to learn new digital skills for the top 10 most in-demand jobs on LinkedIn. So we have training modules for those folks. And this really made a lot of sense during COVID as we were seeing more and more people laid off. We just, we wanted to help. And so we started these training modules. It's free for the job seeker. And it trains them on everything from customer service rep roles to a junior software developer. And so we not only help them with that free training, but we also help them find a job at the other end by partnering with employers. All right, so that's just a little bit about our program, and I'll go more in depth about each of these. Oh yeah, I just mentioned all this, but anyways, just a little more detail on each of the programs that we have under our umbrella. So there are, gener8tor started in Milwaukee and Madison in 2012, and we've now grown to more than 45 programs across the country. I'm kind of proud of this one. We just started a program in Alaska, there you can see, and then also Puerto Rico. So now that once we can travel again, I'm excited to visit those new markets. This is just a look at our team. We have more than 70 full-time employees now, and we're continuing to grow. That has expanded rapidly as we've grown our programs over the last couple of years. At the same time, we are the most active investor in the Midwest among other investment firms. And we're really proud of that. And we've also syndicated with more than almost anyone else in the Midwest. So this is just a sampling of some accelerators, angel groups, venture capital funds, and corporate VCs that have invested in graduates of our programs after they went through a gener8tor program. So we try to be very data-driven in everything that we do, including our metrics and statistics shown here. So we also track things like, I mentioned gener8tor started in 2012. We now have 43 accelerators in 23 cities and 13 states and provinces. We have brought more than 500 startups through our programming. And those startups have gone on to raise more than $500 million in follow-on financing. So when gener8tor invests in a company, we hope that it helps propel them into securing additional investment as well. They've helped create more than 5,000 jobs. There's been more than 100 investments into those companies. At least 85% of them has raised $250,000 or more or been acquired. And 62% have raised $1 million or more and been acquired. We also track things like our portfolio demographic statistics, and we publish this on our website. We think that we're pretty unique in publishing these transparently, and we try to encourage other investors to do the same. So I'd encourage you to check those out. You can go to gener8tor.com/statistics, or if you want to see specifically about the GBeta Milwaukee program that I work on, you can look at gbeta-startups.com/statistics. So over the last several years, we've been fortunate to be ranked top 15 startup accelerator in the country by the Seed Accelerator Rankings Project. That's helped us gain national and international recognition. We're really proud of that. We also, last year, were honored as a Fast Company Most Innovative Company, which was really cool. So the way that gener8tor designs its programs is really small and individual attention with whatever a company needs to grow. And we describe that as a concierge startup accelerator model. The flagship, the original program that our company gener8tor started is called gener8tor. And it's a 3-month mentorship driven program, bringing the entrepreneurs through a variety of different elements, but a big part of it is making introductions to them to mentors who make additional introductions and helping to accelerate their growth in that way. And it's concierge because we keep it small. It's just 5 startups accepted per cohort. So just a little more about that gener8tor equity program where we make an investment. So traditional $20,000 for 6 or 7% of their company, and then $80,000 in follow-on financing. We also have a studio model now where we build the startups with the founders from scratch. So we're essentially choosing the founder to work with us and together building a company. And that's where we invest $100,000 for 20%. Some of the elements of the program that make it work, we have a mentor swarm that I mentioned. So we introduce them to at least 100 mentors for like what we call speed dating. So we put them together for short meetings and they try to establish whether it makes sense to continue with a mentorship relationship. And the mentors are really there to volunteer their time to offer perspective, expertise in their area of business, and additional connections and ideas and thoughts on their company. The gener8tor staff has bi-weekly meetings with the entrepreneurs. So twice a week, 1 hour each time, working through strategy, working through obstacles together, brainstorming connections, just thinking through how they can move forward and what the plan is for their company. There's also weekly meals together to build camaraderie, where we bring in guest speakers and set goals together, and the entrepreneurs are able to network with themselves. There's retreats. So those are one-on-one with the gener8tor team to really take a step back and work on the business as opposed to in the business. We have an investor swarm at the conclusion of the program. So that last portion of the program is really one-on-one pitches with more than 85 unique investors and funds. So we like to think of ourselves as a connector, like I mentioned. So we're connecting them with mentors and additional networking connections, but also investors. We're making those introductions to at least 85 investors with the hope that they will be able to leverage that into raising an equity round. Finally, sort of the capstone or graduation from the program is called Premiere Night. So that's our demo day, our showcase, our public pitch night. It's just a celebration of what they accomplished in the program, and we invite the public and investors to that as well. And then I think one of our most valuable aspects and why we think we're the most valuable investor in their cap table is because we provide ongoing alumni support forever after a founder goes through one of our programs. So whatever they need, connections, ideas, thoughts, venting session, whatever, we're there to help them with their business. So this is what one of our premiere nights looked like at the Milwaukee Art Museum back when people could gather. I miss those days. But yeah, it's just a really exciting night to celebrate what the businesses have accomplished. The entrepreneurs get a chance to go on stage and pitch. We practice their pitch. We get it down really well, and it's just exciting to see them present up there. This is the program that I work on in Milwaukee. It's called GBeta. So gener8tor started in 2012, like I mentioned, with just that one gener8tor equity accelerator program where we make those investments. But we noticed we were seeing fewer and fewer competitive applicants from Milwaukee and Madison, where we're based. And we wanted to make sure we're building up those local startup ecosystems in our community. So we started the GBeta program. It's a different model. But the idea is it's gener8tor beta. So it's like one step earlier to help startups become competitive for equity accelerators or for venture capital investment. So the setup of GBeta is it's a free 7-week accelerator for early stage companies with local roots. Each program is capped at 5 teams and requires no fees and no equity. So this really is a resource for any of the entrepreneurs you're working with in the Milwaukee community. It really is free. And we've been able to, that's our fastest growing product line. We've been able to expand to all these different cities. This slide is even getting outdated. We're in 27 cities with GBeta now. And in each city, we're able to make that possible with the help of corporate sponsors or educational sponsors. So it's just a different business model than our equity accelerator. We find, you know, where cities or corporations are asking us to come to their city and they're willing to sponsor it, we're able to offer it for free to the entrepreneurs. So in Milwaukee, it's sponsored by Kohl's and Godfrey & Kahn. So our goal of GBeta is that 1/3 of graduates will go on to participate in a full-time equity-based accelerator or raise a seed round of at least $50,000 a year or more after completing the program. So far, we've had 466 companies go through GBeta across the country, and 56% of them have hit that metric of 1/3 going on to the equity accelerator or raising $50,000. In total, they've raised $163 million. So just a little bit about our corporate innovation programming. We call that corporate innovation group Project North. So it's kind of like an industry trade association for corporate innovation executives, venture capital, M&A and strategy executives. These are just a sampling of some of the members in our Project North group. So just corporations in the Midwest and beyond who want to trade best practices around corporate innovation. So access to leading technologists, venture capitalists, and startups, early exposure to disruptive class-leading technologies, exchange of best practices, formation and growth of corporate venture capital funds, and innovation departments. So the Project North group, we sort of leverage that as well as the fact that we're working with entrepreneurs in our accelerator programs, and we decided to bring them together through this conference series. So the On-Ramp conference series connects corporations, innovation executives, venture capital firms, and startups. So we're just kind of taking those people that we know, putting them together and saying, hey, you might want to work together. You might want to invest in this startup if it relates to their business. So here are some of the different verticals in which we offer our On-Ramp conference series. So we've got everything from agriculture to retail. Each is, you know, targeted to that industry in the hopes that if we bring retail startups and retail corporations together, there might be some overlap. Again, it was nice when we could do these in person. We have been doing them virtually during the pandemic, but it's usually held at an arena or stadium. It's a one-day thing. And there's a conference track and a startup track in a pretty traditional conference way. But then we also make those individual, here it is, startup track, curated one-on-one pitch sessions between startups and corporations. And then a little bit about our culture program. So those are where we look at musicians and artists and bands and creatives. And we treat them the same way as we do the traditional entrepreneurs in our programs, and really think about like the business side of being an artist and really work them through that process. And then also, again, the introductions are key. We introduce them to music executives to help them get going faster with their career. We also had a chance a couple of years ago to partner with Motown Records to create in Detroit to create our Motown Musician Accelerator, which has been really cool. The Generator Upskilling Program, our newest program, that's where we take those un and underemployed individuals who use the LinkedIn Learning platform to gain free training and the cohort experience of working together with others who are in the same situation. They're each assigned a career coach from our team, and we work with employers to get those individuals hired in their new chosen career after the upskilling program. So that was just a quick overview of all of our different programming. There's a lot going on here. We like to think it's all sort of under the Generator umbrella, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have about Generator.
I do have a couple questions, Molly. The first one that actually intrigues me is the upskill. And the reason why I'm interested in that is that I work for UML. So what we do is we bring individual participants that want to upskill in their area of industry. So in other words, if we have an individual that's in manufacturing, and he might have the knowledge based on how to run a machine, but doesn't have the credentials to kind of show his worth. So we have training in the computer numerical control. And what we do, we take them into our training program, have them get certified, hands-on training, then present them to some of the employers that we have partners with. And the upskill version, the reason why also you mentioned the software, junior software developer. So we're trying to tap into the IT industry, network engineering, software engineering. And we were looking to see if possibly maybe there might be a connection between upscaling those individuals in that specific area in IT software and give them those opportunities to venture out in that area of industry. Again, I totally understand because we're in the same boat. There's a lot of people that are underemployed and unemployed. So we want to make sure that they get those upskill opportunities that we provide. So I'm even thinking about maybe developing a partnership, but that's possible.
Yeah, I'd love to explore that. I think that's a great idea. I don't know if you could tell, upskilling is our newest program. That's where I really had to look at my notes. So I'm less informed on upskilling. I'm not like the person running it, but I can definitely put you in touch with the right person.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you could just put your email on the chat. And I
yes.
can
Oh, sorry about that. I can do that.
Sorry. And then I can send you an email. And the other thing too, that
stop sharing.
I did do the, I think it was the G beta program. Is that the beginning phase? The first phase is what I did, the 7-week. Is that the G beta program where you bring your idea to?
Oh, I think you're thinking of, oh, we've met before, Juan. Now
Yes.
It's all coming back to me. I think you did G Alpha, right? Were you with Infunisub?
Yes.
So G Alpha is one of our pre-accelerators. I really didn't touch on very much, but we started G Beta when we realized we weren't getting as many competitive applicants for the gener8tor program. So it's one step earlier than gener8tor, and then G Alpha is even earlier. We added that on, and we're running out of alphabet here, but it's the idea stage program. So it's really like, come in, even if you don't have an idea, and we'll work through the whole ideation process, lean business model canvas, researching the market and really seeing if it makes sense to take that idea forward into a business.
Yes, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we are in the process of trying to reduce recidivism in our program at UMOS. And we have a lot of individuals that are coming out on incarceration that are very intelligent and have a lot of ideas, but they don't know how to put it to paper. So this will be something where it will be an awesome partnership with our program and yours, because now that we're filtering these individuals out of incarceration, at least now they have options. They can come into our program, and do manufacturing or IT, or, they have their own idea that can manifest through you guys. So the partnership is what I'm definitely looking at when it comes to the G Beta. And definitely I'm gonna have to reach out. I do have a meeting at 9, I apologize. It's a corporate meeting that I gotta attend, but I wanted to be here because from my past experience working with you was tremendous. It was awesome. It was.
I'm so glad.
Yes, and I did get my idea off the ground, but there was conflict of interest. So I had to pull back away from that, but I still have the platform and the format all set in place. And so I really loved it. So
yeah, the program you did with Infunisub here in the gener8tor staff is the G Alpha Social Impact Program. So it's specifically targeted to 2 areas: educational equity and reducing recidivism. So I'm really glad that was helpful to you in fleshing out your business idea in that space. But we're always looking for businesses that address those 2 areas in addition to our more general programming for any type of startup business.
that is awesome. I am going to definitely send you an email. Let me put my email on here as well. That way we can continue this conversation.
Thanks, Juan.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you for sharing that feedback, Juan. That's actually really cool that you've been through that program.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So I wanted to ask Molly, so what are you seeing in terms of how Latinos are getting introduced or participating in like G-Beta?
Absolutely. So G-Beta Milwaukee is sort of a one-woman show. It's me. So I do my very best to recruit entrepreneurs from across all different neighborhoods in Milwaukee. And when we were in person, it was really going to different neighborhoods, different coffee shops to meet with people with what we call office hours. So I would, station myself at a coffee shop for the afternoon and make myself available for quick meetings with entrepreneurs who wanted to learn more about the program or needed help with their application. And even if they don't apply to the program, those office hours are available to entrepreneurs in Milwaukee to get advice, feedback, connections, whatever we can do to help. So I can't make that clear enough that if someone doesn't want to do our program, that's totally fine. And we're here to help. We really do want to help build up entrepreneurs in Milwaukee's ecosystem and be like a good citizen of Milwaukee's startup community. So those office hours are free and open to any entrepreneur in Milwaukee who wants to chat. We post those on our G-Beta Milwaukee site. And I try to rotate them around to different neighborhoods. So then when we went virtual during the pandemic, it was harder to make sure I was reaching entrepreneurs all over the city. And so what I tried to do was outreach to different chambers serving different audiences. But I did outreach to the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Hispanic Professionals of Greater Milwaukee, and the Latino Chamber of Commerce. And to be honest, I haven't made a ton of inroads. So I would love some advice on how I can better reach entrepreneurs in the Latinx community. But we do our very best. That the statistics that I mentioned, the gbeta-startups.com/statistics, shows kind of like how many female founders and minority founders in our programs. And we have founders self-identify when they come on to the program in their onboarding survey, so we can keep track of the statistics. But my goal is 50% female and 50% minority in each cohort of the program. So I would love advice on continuing to meet that metric. And I feel like I'm going on and on. Did I answer your question?
Yes. So it would be great to continue the conversation, Molly.
Yeah, by one. I should mention we also
Thank you.
recently held what we call lightning rounds, and those are also open to any entrepreneur, whether or not they're part of our, they've been through our programs, but it's called, in the fall, we did lightning rounds for Black and Brown founders, really making sure that we were targeting assistance to those individuals and lightning rounds really is, it's pitch sessions. So they're pitching to investors, to accelerators, to try to take that next step as a startup to get investment.
Thank you.
I do have a quick question for you, Molly. I know Andrea mentioned that you guys also have an office in Milwaukee. Do you also, are you, in Madison as well? Are you, because I would definitely like to connect with someone in Madison, with someone in your office here in Madison.
Yes. So I'm personally in Milwaukee, in the Milwaukee office, but we do have a Madison office as well and a Madison G-Beta program. And I can introduce you to the director there as well.
Wonderful. I'll definitely follow up with you via email.
Okay. Yeah. I think I put my email to everyone in the chat here. So,
yeah.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Molly, I'll make sure that's also included in the follow-up email.
Thank you.
I'll share your contact info.
Should have a slide with my contact info.
Okay, well, thank you so much again, Molly, for sharing about the great work that gener8tor does. Like I said, I'll send an email out with your contact info along with a recording of the presentation. And please save the date for the next roadshow meeting on Thursday, June 17th. Thank you all and have a great day.
Thanks for having me.